So let's move on to the listening practice. And I have some tips for you to do the listening part better in an exam. It's just a 4 minutes clip, so watch it carefully, okay?
For all exams, preparation is important. And one of the best ways to prepare yourself for a listening exam is to listen to as much spoken English as possible, as often as you can. That's what this student does.
I think that one of the best things is watching TV, because even if you don't understand it, you can understand it from the picture, but your listening skills are improved. But even better, I think it's radio, listening to the radio, because you have to concentrate only on sound, not on the picture.
So TV or radio are great places to listen to authentic English. Don't forget that you can also practice your listening skills by watching movies and listening to music. If you listen to something that you find interesting, you're more likely to enjoy the experience and as a result, improve your listening. Also, get hold of some practice tests on CD or as MP3 files and listen to them often. As well as giving you further practice in listening, these tests allow you to become familiar with the format of the exam and let you know how many times you'll hear the listening text in the real test. There's no need to be in a quiet room to do the practice tests. In fact, it's often better if you're not. This forces you to focus on the key speakers with background noise and distractors going on. Language teacher Margaret John says this will help.
Some examinations deliberately put distractors such as noisy environments like tube stations and bus stations and airports behind the speakers. If you've been practicing listening that way, you will be in a much better position in exam conditions to be able to handle this problem.
When you're finally in the real exam, make sure you can hear properly. If you have a problem, tell the examiner right at the beginning. After the exam is too late. These tips will hopefully get you going in your listening exam. Good luck!
So that is the end of the tips for you to prepare for an exam, listening exam. And now let's move on to some listening exercises. The first exercise is a TED Talks. Please listen to the video carefully.
And today, the research shows that to be happy at work, people want to be engaged. They want to have mastery over their subject matter. They do want to know that what they do matters more than the paycheck they get. So if we know that, why is it that 50% of us can't figure out what we want to do with our life? Well, I think it's because when we're in doubt, we look to our resume. We look to our credentials, what we're qualified to do. And what we're qualified to do is not necessarily what we're meant to do. It isn't necessarily what's going to bring us satisfaction. Think of an egg, if you will. From a little hummingbird egg to an ostrich egg, all of them are a roundish shell. For people, that shell are our credentials, our track record, our accomplishments, and our resume. A lot of us get attached to that shell. It becomes our identity, and that's what makes it hard to change. But to get to the good stuff, you have to crack the egg open, because inside is the yolk, the golden center. That's where the DNA is. That's what determines how each egg is unique. And for people, I call that yolk their life blueprint. So everything that can be taken away is the shell, the status, your identity, what people think of you, the perks, the salary. But what can't be taken away is the yolk. And that's where the discovery of career satisfaction can happen. Maybe it's more important to understand that career satisfaction doesn't come from what you do. It comes from who you get to be while you're doing that job. Who your job allows you to be, that's where the happiness comes from. So the shell is what you do, but the yolk is who you get to be. When I was in my 20s, I wanted nothing more than
So here are the answers for the listening part. You fill in a blank with no more than one word. As you are required to do this yourself at home, so I just showed you the answers for you to check it more clearly.
Once again, the organization.
And the second video that you know, that's actually the second radio that you are going to listen to is about the Australian job. So
Once again,
please
the
listen to it
organization
carefully and do the exercise.
is advertising the.
Take your time to read the exercise, then listen to it.
Once again, the organisation which promotes Australia, Tourism Australia, is advertising the best job in the world. But this year, they have 6 jobs going, all for 6 months, with a great salary and extra spending money. If you think one of these is your dream job, you have to make a 30-second video explaining why you are the best person for the role. But be warned, thousands of people will be competing for each post. The job of Outback Adventurer is for someone with a passion for outdoor life. And in the Northern Territory, there are plenty of wide open spaces. The job is for someone to find out the best adventures and jobs for young people on working holidays. You'd be getting close to wildlife, sleeping under the stars in a bush camp, and flying over stunningly beautiful landscape in a hot air balloon. Your duties will include getting to know about Aboriginal culture and eating traditional bush foods, maybe including the famous witchetty grubs, insect larvae. Like the idea of 200 days of sunshine every year? Job number 2 is a park ranger in tropical Queensland. It's a wonderful state with ancient rainforests, the world's largest sand island, and the awesome Great Barrier Reef. Here, your duties would include protecting and promoting native plants and animals, spectacular waterfalls, dinosaur fossils, untouched beaches, and indigenous culture. You'd get paid to patrol the beaches of Lizard Island and live a life most people can only dream about. Another island job is as wildlife caretaker on Kangaroo Island in South Australia. If you love all kinds of animals, this is the job for you. The advert says you'll be able to talk to wallabies, a kind of small kangaroo, play with dolphins, cuddle koalas, and sunbathe with seals on the unspoilt beach at Seal Bay. You would get about the island on foot, by bicycle, kayak or boat, taking photos and leaving only footprints. There is one potential drawback though. You'd need to be pretty brave since you might come face to face with great white sharks. Maybe you are not quite so keen on the great outdoors and your talents are more journalistic. If you fancy feature writing, photography, and making videos, you can apply for the position of lifestyle photojournalist for Time Out in Melbourne. You would be required to photograph and write about the city's coolest cafes and musical events. But you'd also cover tourist activities in the whole state of Victoria, including surfing on the Great Ocean Road, skiing at Mount Hotham, or watching the little penguins at Phillip Island. Are you a foodie? Do you know about food as well as love eating it? If the answer's yes, you can apply for the role of Taste Master in Western Australia. Your job will be to promote the best restaurants, pubs, wineries and breweries. You'd also catch fresh seafood off the beautiful coast and learn all about making wine and beer. Finally, a fantastic job in Sydney. We've all seen those amazing firework displays in Sydney Harbour. Well, you could be one of the people making that happen next year. New South Wales is looking for a chief funster who would be based in Sydney while travelling around the state and tweeting about the coolest things going on. This job would appeal to someone interested in everything: sports, the arts, entertainment, food. You'd also be involved in making the Sydney Festival, Mardi Gras and Vivid Festival as spectacular and as fun as possible.
This recording was brought to you by the British Council. To find others like it, visit www.britishcouncil.org/Learn English Teens.
So here are the answers for the first exercise. And the second exercise will be the same radio as you have listened to that you have just listened. I mean the ones about the Australian shops. So please listen to it again by yourself, or if you don't need it, just move on to the second exercise and do it. Here's also the answers for the second exercise. As there's some technical problem, so I just read out the answers for the second exercise. Please listen to my answers carefully. The Outback Adventure, finding interesting adventures and work opportunities for young people. Secondly, Park Ranger means take care of nature and culture in a large state with varied geography. Thirdly, wildlife caretaker is someone who takes care of nature on a small island. Fourthly, lifestyle photojournalist means produce magazine articles on free time and entertainment activities. For the fifth answer is Taste Master, promotes the food and beverage industry. Next is Park Ranger, take care of nature and culture in a large. Nope. Next one is Chief Funster, means promote a city's events and things to do using social media. And this is also the end of our listening part. Thank you for listening.